Hey, what's spinning, guys? Welcome back. Thanks for being here. In today's episode, we meet an old friend. His name is Vin, also known as Big Daddy Vin. Vin and me used to play in college bands competing against each other back in the day. So, yeah, Vin loves classical and contemporary jazz, 80s rock, and 80s electronica. Vin is a resident of Dubai who's been a collector for years. Vin is also the founder and singer of Dubai-based rock band Vin Sinners. They are a triple album, major label signed band. If you would like to know more about Vin Sinners, you could check them out on Wikipedia. You know, this is actually a very epic episode because me and Vin started doing this episode about 1.5 years ago, and then for whatever reasons, we could not complete it. But here we are, and we've done it. We've come full circle. Thanks, Vin, for doing this. So let's rock and roll and meet Vin, and also meet Steve.
Hi, my name is Vin, and the first time I heard records was in our home back in Italy. My dad was a collector, and he had a lot of jazz. He also listened to Pink Floyd. The first time I actually heard The Dark Side of the Moon was on this very system in our home back in Italy. I'm talking about 1979 or 78 or something around then. But he was my first influence to record collecting. I also had a few EPs that we used to collect. I was gifted at that time for my birthday, and that was perhaps where it all started. Well, the first record that I bought, I probably don't remember, but the first record that I got my hands on was this absolute masterpiece, The Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. This was given to me by my dad. It's an original master. We bought it in Italy. I have a photograph of myself as a 5-year-old boy holding this very record, and to hold it now at a very different age, won't get to that, but is absolutely special. The most recent acquisition in my collection was actually yesterday, and is the album Patient Number 9 by Ozzy Osbourne. I do have his other record called No More Tears, which is one of my absolute favorite records, but this one is really special. I've heard the music on this even before I got the record. Lots of collaborations, lots of artists that have performed with Ozzy on this one. Absolutely love it. So it hasn't gone for a spin yet. I'm planning to do that right after this. Well, when it comes to favorite artists, most of the rock bands of the 80s, for example, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Motley Crue, Poison, Cinderella, one of my favorite artists. Of course, there's the 70s, there's Led Zeppelin, there's Pink Floyd, there's Deep Purple. But it's difficult to get all of these records at the same time because, I have to put food on the table as well, otherwise I'm just going to get broke just doing this. There's already a big debate going on with that. Let's not go there.
Who I am, I don't know, not for a long time. At the time, the way this got through,
Coming to specific artwork that I really like, obviously Dark Side of the Moon is one of those iconic artworks that everybody has used in some form or way. But these two records by Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and Use Your Illusion 2, which came out in 1991, these were specials because it's actually a part of a larger picture by the artist Raphael called The School of Athens, and there's a little part of that that actually ended up as a part of this cover. So if you actually Google that, it's quite interesting. So there's a little bit of a story around why they came up with the artwork for Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 with that whole concept. The guys in Guns N' Roses are a bit wild when it comes to these kinds of things, but great idea. I love the way they executed it. They stand out any which way you look at it, but really good stuff. Yeah. Okay, so if you're asking me about my top 5 records, this is going to be a little bit of a difficult one to answer, but I'm going to try nevertheless, right? I've got a few on my lap right now, and I'm going to try and keep it at 5. This one here is Motley Crue's Shout at the Devil. I got this a few years ago when I was visiting the US. One of my favorite records from listening to Motley Crue in the 80s. I grew up on hair metal, hair rock, and I really enjoyed Motley Crue. So that's one of them. Then there is one of my absolute favorite records of all time, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son by Iron Maiden. I actually ordered this pre-COVID, and unfortunately COVID hit in 2020. It spent about 6 months before I got to it at the post office here in Dubai. So worth the wait. My first Iron Maiden record, incidentally, and I also went back in time, and then now I have every single record of Iron Maiden on some format or the other. All right, and then there are two records that I managed to get my hands on recently, and from perhaps one of my favorite, probably my favorite band, Guns N' Roses. This one is The Spaghetti Incident. I bought this in Greece. I also have the CD, and the cover of the CD is autographed by the one and only Slash. And then there's GNR Lies, special edition. It's a white vinyl. These are two very prized records of mine. And then there's Pearl Jam's debut album. It's called 10. This is a masterpiece. I remember buying the cassette, then buying the CD, and then now I have it on vinyl. This was gifted to me by my daughter, incidentally. So, and then there's another record that I've been looking for a very long time. Dead Wing by Porcupine Tree. I again bought this in Greece just 3 months ago. Beautiful album, one of their best pieces of work. Really proud to have this.
Your own shadow.
As far as the one record that I'd like to be left with, the world went upside down completely, it would be the Wish You Were Here album by Pink Floyd. That's one of those classics that you can play at any time, any place. There's no perfect time for it. It's always a good time to play Pink Floyd. Yeah? About the number of records that I have, oh boy, that record collection has actually grown quite significantly the last 3 years. It's probably about 200 or 300, maybe 300 records now. It's grown, I can tell you that. And where do I get them? In Dubai, there's a few sources, very, very few. There's a raw music store that I bought a few records at. You can buy them online, they deliver it to you. Then there's a friend of mine who's also a distributor for some of the large music labels. Robbie, he brings them over. I order them through a list that he shares, and then I buy them from him. Most interestingly though, I like to visit record stores when I travel. So I've traveled quite a fair bit. I bought some records in Poland, in Greece, quite extensively in the US. And it's fun because sifting through records at a store is a different kind of high, and I love doing that. So yeah, these are the kind of sources from where I get my records. Online buying is, well, not so much, but these, absolutely.
Home is just that closer to hell.
My music setup is pretty straightforward actually, because this particular amplifier here that I've had, my dad bought it in 1978 and it handed over to me in 1991. I still have it. It works like a charm. I've had to service it a few times thanks to my friend Barry here in Dubai. He's done an incredible job of keeping these going. It's made by the company called Scott. The company doesn't exist anymore. So is the turntable. The turntable is also Scott. It has an Autoform stylus though, and I've got a pair of Wharfdale twin towers over here, and then at the back over there I got two more solid Scott pins which are powered by the original Scott speakers. There's nothing that beats the original sound, especially when you're listening to vinyl. There's something about it, there's a charm to it that no other format can replicate, and I just absolutely love it. And my name is Vin, and I'm a recordholic.
When you're falling, when you're dying, home is just that closer to hell. What you don't want to end up crying. Could this be your lucky chance? You're going there.
So that was Vin. If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, share the love. As always, if you want to be featured, get in touch, we'll make it happen. Till the next one, be safe, stay cool, put a record on. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Out.